Welcome everyone. My name is Giram and today's topic is about taking steps to reduce your anxiety. Let's get started. Has any of you experienced or are currently experiencing anxiety? If so, have you wondered why you feel anxiety and what steps to take the moment you recognize it? We all know that God is love, hope, and joy. When we feel anxiety, we feel separated from that love, hope, joy, and in some cases, it can be a crisis of faith. The Bible doesn't specifically say what causes anxiety, but it suggests that anxiety is a sign of a lack of faith. The idea is that anxiety shows we haven't fully trusted God with our lives. Fear, in the Bible, is something we're meant to let go of because we are all part of God's plan. Jesus asks in Matthew chapter 6, verse 27, "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" In other words, what does anxiety really do for you? Many people struggle with anxiety and panic attacks, but worrying doesn't solve anything. It doesn't cure illness or make you safer. It doesn't increase your lifespan or improve your quality of life. Anxiety is often a result of uncertainty, and the Bible teaches that uncertainty is essentially a form of not trusting in God's plan. While anxiety is not a sin, it's a sign that we are struggling to trust God fully. If we really trusted Him, we wouldn't feel the need to worry in the way we do. There are many Bible verses that offer guidance on dealing with anxiety by trusting in God and His promises. Let's look at some of them and how they address different causes of anxiety. In Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, God comforts us. "Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." The Bible often talks about fear, reminding us that God always has a plan. If we truly believe that everything happens according to God's will, we shouldn't be afraid, especially when there's no real danger. Fear is natural, but when we feel afraid without a real threat, it can show that we don't fully trust God's plan. Psalm chapter 121, verse 1 to 2 offers a comforting reminder. "I lift my eyes toward the mountains. Where will my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." When life feels overwhelming, it's important to remember that God is our source of help. Turning to Him in faith is a powerful way to cope with stress. The Bible teaches that dealing with stress isn't just about finding the right techniques. It's about trusting in God. He is the ultimate source of strength and peace. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 to 12 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen." Life changes and other transitions can be very stressful. But according to the Bible, change is also part of God's plan. Believing that everything is in God's hands helps us to see that no change is ultimately bad if it is part of His plan. Trusting in God can help reduce the anxiety we feel during times of change. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 14 offers perspective when life feels out of control. "Enjoy prosperity while you can, but when hard times strike, realize that both come from God. Remember that nothing is certain in this life." There are times in life when we feel powerless, when life is not turning out as well as we expected. But the Bible reminds us that we're not really in control. God is. While we have free will, the ultimate control belongs to Him. Everything we experience is part of His plan. Psalm chapter 55, verse 22 encourages us to give our worries to God. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. The Bible teaches that the more we trust God, the less anxiety we will experience. Anxiety comes from worries and fears about not being able to handle the challenges of life. But having faith in God means trusting that He will help us navigate whatever comes our way. The more we commit to God and His love, the less we will be controlled by fear and worry. Ultimately, trusting in God is also a way of trusting ourselves. When we have faith in both God and ourselves, we can face any challenge, knowing that we are never alone. God's love and guidance are always with us, and through Him, we find the peace we need to live without fear.